Hey friend, Graham here from recordingrevolution.com. Okay, so earlier this year, before 2020 decided to take a turn against us all, my buddy, Grammy-nominated producer Ill Factor, and I opened up our EP Blueprint course, a program designed to teach you how to write, record, produce, mix, master, and release your own EP. In fact, it also documents us creating our own EP that we did together last fall and released this January. And we had musicians from all over the world take us up on this course, go through it, and then actually release music in 2020 as independent artists. And if you were one of those students, I want to say I'm so proud of you. When we first released this course back in January, we were blown away by the positive feedback we got from students, people who felt like this course gave them not only the system, but the motivation and a little bit of a challenge to actually get out there and release their independent music this year. We had students from all ages, even in their 60s and 70s, taking us up on this. We had students from Asia and Europe and Australia all coming together for this common goal of releasing their own music. We had people like Haydar in Sweden release his own instrumental EP, Victoria in Germany who released an EP singing songs in multiple genres, Luke in Vancouver who released his own EP and is planning on releasing a second one later this year. And dozens more have used what they've learned in this course to release singles while they continue to work on finishing their entire EP. Now again, if you were one of those students from the original group of people who joined the EP Blueprint back in January, I just want to tell you I'm so proud of you. When I started the Recording Revolution over a decade ago, honestly, I was hoping to just grow my freelance recording and mixing business. I had no idea, and it is still humbling and mind-blowing today, to think that years later I would be able to touch musicians from all over the world, bring them together and help them and help you realize your musical goals. It means a lot for me and Ill Factor that you invited us into your musical world and allowed us to share our creative process with you and help be a part of your journey. And with that, I've got a special announcement. We are going to be reopening the EP Blueprint to the public very soon. So if you want to be able to get access to our 10-step process to go from no ideas to releasing your EP on Spotify, getting your first 1,000 streams, the entire step-by-step process, I want you to sign up for the waiting list so you will know and be notified the moment this course opens up. Just go to recordingrevolution.com/EP, and that way you will get notified. The link is also below in the description. Just sign up there. You will know the moment we reopen this course so you can join us and release your own music this year. Now, personally, when I look at all my students who've gone through this course, I am reminded of 3 classic lessons that are so applicable to us as home studio musicians that I would love to share with you today to help and encourage you. So let's dive in. Lesson number 1 is that music has no boundaries. I think we all know this, but from my vantage point, I see it in a really unique light. Okay, students inside of the EP Blueprint, let's just take that course in particular, were from all over the globe, all ages and all levels of experience. So we had people who were making their very first recordings that just had never done it, to people who had been recording and mixing for years but had never actually compiled or finished an EP that they released to the world. So to see the variety and to see the diversity and the complete differences among all of us, but we're all rallied together around this one thing. You look at it, you say, there are a lot of things we could debate about, but it's hard to debate this universal truth that music has no boundaries. Everybody understands to some degree music and loves music, and it is just a privilege to be a musician and to be a part of that and to see everyone come together around that. And then you take that and add it to the fact that gear is so cheap, so quality, and so accessible in most parts of the world today that we can all build a home studio for fractions of what it used to cost in the olden days. And then we can all realize our musical dreams, whether you go through a program like EP Blueprint, or maybe it's just watching some of my videos on YouTube. You can actually connect with people all over the world because you can create the music for cheap and then distribute the music for free or cheap. It's insane how set up you are to continue to do what you love to do, which is music. So I want to encourage you that if you're on the fence or sitting on the fence, like, I wanted to record an EP or I wanted to release an EP or a few songs this year, but gosh, 2020 happened, I just haven't. I get it. Life has been crazy and probably hard for many of you. I also know that even without all the stuff that's been happening this year, making and releasing an EP takes time. It really does. It's not just easy, but it's possible and it's worth it. And I want to push you just a little bit to make a date with yourself to release something, work backwards from it, and then get that music out there. Lesson number 2, making and releasing your own music is as simple as following the right process. Okay, again, you might be more advanced than someone else, or you might be more of a beginner. You might feel very overwhelmed when it comes to learning about recording and mixing. I know I was when I started. That's one giant impetus for me doing the Recording Revolution, is to try to simplify the process. So if you look at the idea of, okay, Graham, I want to release my music, but I'm just overwhelmed and I stop. Let me give you a couple pieces of advice. Number 1, just do one step at a time. Like, if you don't have any songs yet, don't worry about recording. Just practice writing songs and learn how to write songs better. If you have songs but haven't recorded them yet, then just focus on recording. Learn everything you can about recording and just record. Don't worry about mixing. Mastering, what is that? Who cares? Focus on recording. One step of the process at a time. It's the only way to make it doable. Otherwise, you will get overwhelmed if you look too far down the corridor of time and see all the things that you could be doing with your music. So have some tunnel vision, have one step at a time. And then here's where I see a lot of people get stuck. Only compare yourself to yourself. You know what I mean? It is way too easy to look at your music or look at your recording or look at your mix or the song you wrote and then get on YouTube or get on Instagram and compare it to the kid who can play drums like John Bonham, or the kid who can play guitar like Stevie Ray Vaughan, or like, there are those prodigies out there and we are more aware of them than ever because of the internet. It is all too easy to say, crap, I'm not as talented as she is. I can't play guitar like he can. Don't do that. That's literally irrelevant to you and your goals. The only thing that matters is, are you better than you were last year? Now, sometimes we aren't, and we can say with all transparency and honesty, look, I haven't improved. That's okay too. Be honest with yourself, but only compare yourself to yourself in the past. All I care about for you is progress. Progress, progress, progress. Comparing yourself to somebody else as a musician, and from one musician to another, let me just tell you, it'll kill you. It'll kill your soul. Don't do it. It'll kill the fun and the creativity of why we got in this in the first place. And lesson number 3, I'm going to use the D word, deadlines move mountains. If you have set for yourself a deadline to release your latest music or EP, and even better, if you have told people publicly, family, friends, fans, whomever, of that deadline, it creates an invisible force of pressure to get you to do what you need to do to release it on that day. Whether you do it all the night before somehow, or you do it systematically broken up, which I recommend that, you will get it done, or you will be really close to it. There is good pressure when you involve a deadline. And this is something that we taught our students and we teach our students inside of the EP Blueprint. Early on, we had to talk about deadlines, and we challenged our students to set a deadline. They don't even have songs written. Set a deadline of when they would like to release an EP, and we challenged them to set that deadline within a few months of purchasing the course. So there was a little bit of like, oh gosh, I don't know if I will be done by then. But you know what happened is, not only did we give them that deadline and get them to think about when they're going to release it, we gave them a system and a structure of how to break it all up to ensure that they could get it all done in that time. And even though not everybody hit that deadline, we had dozens of students who did, who released their EPs to the world, who were like, whoa, I can't believe we actually got that out there. Look, I get it. Most of the people who watch the Recording Revolution are hobbyists. They do music and recording for a hobby. When it's a hobby, it's a pastime. It's something you do for fun. It doesn't take number one priority. Totally get that. But still, to accomplish anything, you have to give it some element of priority in your life. I know too many musicians who have all the gear. I've watched all the videos. They've bought all my courses and they haven't released a piece of music. And I wonder why. What's missing? What are you going to continue to look for that's going to get you to release your music? Nothing's going to change until you decide to make it a priority. You don't have to just, give up all of your other responsibilities. It's all about managing your responsibilities like a mature adult, but without a deadline, it's never going to happen. And I've talked about deadlines for years because for whatever reason, creatives don't like that word. They think it actually stifles creativity, but those are creatives that have never actually used a deadline. Deadlines don't stifle creativity. They allow creativity to flourish because they force the creativity to come up to the surface and get out there. The people that don't have any music out there, who say that the deadlines are suffocating their creativity, are exactly that, not putting music out there. But those of us who set deadlines consistently release music. And the more you release, the better you get. Now, look, we're like halfway through 2020. It's crazy, right? If you haven't released the music you wanted to this year, even if you had really good intentions in January, and then everything happened in 2020 that has stopped it all from happening, I get it. You still have the second half of the year. And I really want you to consider joining the EP Blueprint course when it reopens next week. This course is designed to not only motivate you to take action, but give you a 10-step process, the literal process that I use, that Il use, that we use together to write, record, master, release, promote our latest EP, The Good Life. It literally takes you inside our studio. We filmed the process while it was happening, broke down what we were doing. It's the perfect companion to you setting out to actually making music this year. We've had hundreds of students go through this course when we opened it back in January, and we are so pumped to have you join it this second round. So if you want to be a part of that second crop of students and you really actually want to release your music this year and get it done despite all that's been happening so far in 2020, then join the notification list. Go to recordingrevolution.com/EP and you will be the first to be notified the moment this course is available next week. Once again, if you already were a part of the EP Blueprint course, Il Factor and I just want to thank you so much for giving us the privilege of being your guides and helping you along your musical journey. We're proud of you, excited for you. And if you haven't joined and you want to make music this year, sign up for the notification list at recordingrevolution.com/EP. That way you can join the course next week when it opens up and learn how to make and release and promote your EP in the next few months. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for liking and subscribing to these videos. I always appreciate the support. Stay healthy, stay safe. I'll see you in another video real soon. Hey friend, this is Graham here from recordingrevolution.com.
And this is Il Factor from beatacademy.com.
And we want to tell you about something super, super rad that we're doing. We love working on music together. We did a couple singles together and we decided, hey, selfishly, let's make a whole EP together.
Yeah.
And then we thought about documenting it.
Yeah.
So you could see the whole process. But then we wanted to take it a step further. We wait, we can't just document this. Let's teach you how we actually create EPs step by step by step. And we want to bring you into that process.
Yeah, so we want to invite you into the whole process of creating an EP. And not just creating it, but we also want to walk you through what happens when you're done with that EP. How do you get it out into the world? And how do you actually build traction with the music that you've created?
So from no song idea to polishing up a final master to releasing it digitally to get it on Spotify and all the other platforms to getting your first 1,000 streams online, this program is going to walk you through our step-by-step process. So if you're a singer-songwriter or in a band and you just want that little push or kick in the butt to actually release some new music this year and actually get some traction with it, then this program is for you. Just hit the link below this video to sign up for the waitlist so you get first dibs and first access to when this course drops. We can't wait to bring you into the studio and show you our process.
Super excited. We'll see you there.